Welcome back to Building Character. How do you take something that's made of cold concrete and filled with heavy industrial equipment and turn it into something that's warm, inviting, and comfortable? It may sound like an impossible task, but not for one Fredericksburg, Virginia couple with an unusual idea for a waterfront getaway. It's solid and tall, old but new, industrial yet charming. In a former life, it was a pump house. Today, it's a 3-room home, well-appointed, small in space, but large in inspiration. Homeowner Susan Beck says it's her husband Bill's midlife crisis, his little red Corvette.
It is entirely different from the rest of our lives.
In real life, Bill is the mayor of Fredericksburg, Virginia, population 20,000. It's a small town rich in American history. Bill is passionate about history, a true old soul.
I subscribed to Antiques magazine when I was 14 years old, I think.
Today, he and Susan make their living buying and selling small pieces of history. Their full-time home is a townhouse above their antique shop. They were nicely settled in their lives until
I saw a little ad in the paper a few years ago that said it was going to be sold at a sealed bid auction.
It was the 1947 pump house building on the bank of the Rappahannock River.
I thought, oh my, he's crazy. But I knew that he really wanted to do it.
The pump house had been abandoned for nearly 20 years. There was no electricity, no running water, no sewer lines.
It was sort of a mess, mostly because of the vines, the leaves. Vines had grown over the walkway entirely.
But under those vines, Bill saw a structure in near original condition, poured concrete over a steel frame.
But it's an incredible piece of engineering. The walls are 5 feet thick at the base. It's designed to be flood-proof so that all of the pumps and the electric motors and all of the equipment would be safe if the river did come up.
The live-in part of the house is a tall concrete shaft. The equipment room is at the bottom, and the only entrance is 56 feet up. That's where the Becks began the transformation from pump house to house. First, they had to build a floor. The original building was just one deep shaft. Now, at the top of the building is a 25 by 15-foot open space that is part living room, part kitchen. They saved as many original elements as possible: the steel window frames, concrete walls, and structural beams.
This beam was here really for the original purpose of the building, to bring in the pumps and the electric motors.
Living spaces are decorated simply, punctuated only with a few pieces of modern furniture.
To have something that's so entirely different from where we live, the rest of our lives in this 19th century, formal federal townhouse.
An original staircase leads to the home's other rooms, a library, and a bathroom.
The second floor didn't exist at all when we got here. That was just part of this concrete shaft.
To create the floor, the contractor needed to bolt huge steel beams to the walls. The basement is another 5 flights down, accessible only by the narrow staircase.
This is the bottom floor of the pump house, and this is where the pumps and the motors are, and this is where all of the work of pumping the water happened. These 8 pumps actually handled 20,000 gallons of water every minute. There's still wrenches on top of the filter boxes, as if they were getting ready to change the filters one more time.
Attached to the side of the tower is the former workstation for the pump house staff. The Becks made it a comfortable sitting area with rattan furniture and ceiling fans. The transformation of the pump house took 4 times longer than expected and went 5 times over budget. Most days, Bill and Susan escape to their riverfront retreat, alone or with friends. Sometimes, Bill leaves City Hall to conduct mayoral business here. But mainly, the Becks come here for the river, the views, and the history.
Right across the river from here is Ferry Farm, the farm where George Washington grew up. And the old R&P Railroad Bridge that's right upstream on the river here, I think, is one of the most beautiful structures in Fredericksburg.
We spend more and more time down here with this space.
and Susan seem to have it all in their getaway on the river. But there is something missing.
We're perfectly happy to have a 3-room residence that doesn't include a bedroom.
With no bedroom, where did the Becks sleep?
Our house is 4.5 blocks away, so we're happy to go home and sleep in our regular bed at night.
So the days are spent by the river in a home that feels just right.
When we're here, we'll just kind of focus on the outside and focus on the river and let the building speak for itself.